What is going on, everyone? It was day 3 of Houston Texans training camp, and it was the first practice open to the public, so you know your boy had to be there. And all the videos that you were gonna see today were taken by me. I will be at every single open training camp practice that the Houston Texans hold, so make sure you guys are following me on my Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I'm going to drop the links in my description below. And also, we are so close to 7K. So if you are new here to the channel, feel free to like, comment, and definitely subscribe. Now, I got to practice at 7 o'clock in the morning thinking I was going to be one of the first people in line. And boy, was I wrong. There was about a line a half-mile long that went all the way to the back of the damn gate. You could tell that the excitement was back in the city of Houston. We want to see a winning football team again. And shout out to the Houston Texans who put their marching band out there and gave us some entertainment. I know the cool thing that we did is when all the players walked down from the from the steps that have the logo, it was our head coach's Demeco Ryan's birthday today. So all the fans wished him and sang him happy birthday.
To you, happy birthday.
You could tell it meant a lot to him, man. He had a big old smile. And this Houston Texans team, man, it feels like a family again. And it's just great to see. And it was a cool moment for everyone to experience as Houston Texans fans together. Then practice started, and the first team that we saw was the defensive side. And I have to say, the bright spot of today was Will Anderson Jr., the number 3 overall pick in this draft. He had about 2 would-be sacks, one against Davis Mills, one against CJ Stroud. He was the first defensive lineman off the ball in every single drill. Every time they brought him off for him to take a breath, get some water, it seemed like he was upset. It seemed like he wanted to be on the field at all times. Will Anderson Jr. looked like an absolute monster today. In the linebackers, something to keep your eye on. Henry To'oTo'o was running with the runs for majority of practice. It was him, Christian Harris, and Denzel Perryman. And I say it every time I talk about Denzel Perryman. The dude looks like he's absolutely chiseled from stone. Just eight pack, just absolutely built. Crazy to see. And he was moving and running fast. And Christian Harris, I think, is going to be a star towards the end of the season, was moving everywhere and really taking in what head coach Demeco Ryans was teaching him. Speaking on Demeco Ryans, he is so hands-on with this defense. He took a minute to really explain everything to them, ran the play, stopped it, did another 3 minutes of explaining. You saw the coach in there, and the fans saw it too. That was one of the things that we were talking about, was how hands-on Demeco Ryans was with this Houston Texans defense. The secondary consisted of Derek Stingley, Steven Nelson, Jalen Petrie, and Eric Murray. It was Jimmy Ward's off day today. Dude was in sweatpants and a bucket hat. I don't know why. It was freaking hot today, and you saw some of the Houston Texans coaches in sweaters and everything like that. I don't get it. But the secondary was once again the star of the show. They were locked down. No deep pass was completed on the secondary. The one that was close to being complete was thrown by Case Keenum, and I think that was the best throw of the day. None of these quarterbacks had a really impressive day against this Houston Texans defense, and that's been the story this past couple of days, right? Ever since training camp started, we have heard that the defense has had a one-up so far. Now let's go ahead and switch to the offense, and the bright spot today was the running game. Dameon Pierce and Devin Singletary are going to be an absolute deadly 1A, 1B duo. They both had about 3 plays that would have gone for 15 plus yards, and both of them had at least one breakaway run that would have resulted in a touchdown. They were just creating absolute, havoc out there. We're making people miss. We're not afraid to get into contact, man. And I think this is going to be crazy when it gets to the season, because opposing defenses are not going to be able to take a break. You are going to get a heavy dose of Dameon Pierce, who is a bowling ball, can make you miss, is not afraid of contact. And when the Houston Texans take him out, you are going to get Devin Singletary, who's the exact same type of running back, not afraid of contact, can make you miss, has that breakaway speed. This running back duo is going to be really good this year, ladies and gentlemen. Mark my words. Now, you have to give credit to the offensive line because they had a very good day creating lanes for these RBs. And it went Laramie Tunsil, Kenyon Green, Scott Quisenberry, Shaq Mason, and Titus Howard. We spoke to Titus Howard at the end of practice. Well, I didn't, right? And he said that one of his goals this year is to make the Pro Bowl, make the All-Pro, because he got paid. Shout out to him for having those type of expectations on himself. But the offensive line on the ground game, I am liking what I'm seeing. Switching to the quarterbacks, man. The quarterbacks had a pretty rough day. No interceptions. Once again, the star of the show was the Houston Texans lockdown secondary. Everyone was so excited to see CJ Stroud. He started, right, was the first quarterback out there in team drills, and he looked okay. I like that he wasn't afraid to take deep shots against this secondary. They were either broken up, and one of them was a little bit out of reach, but it was a tough day for all quarterbacks in terms of throwing the ball, man. But CJ Stroud, he was in command of that huddle, was moving people around, had a very good pocket presence. His first play, he scrambled for about 10 yards after not being able to find anyone open. But CJ Stroud, right, we were also waiting to see that 7-1-3 connection with him and rookie wide receiver Tank Dell. And we saw two instances in that. One of them was a play on the opposite side of the field away from the fans. He caught about a 5-yard pass, Tank Dell did. It made about 3 defenders miss, got a lot of oohs and ahs. And then about a few plays later, on the fan side, everyone knew this was coming. It was Tank Dell one-on-one on the outside, beats the cornerback, but the cornerback stays real tight in his hip pocket. CJ Stroud lays a beautiful deep ball. It is broken up by the safety, almost intercepted. It would have been a big-time play if Tank Dell came down with that. And I like that they're not afraid to, take deep shots, and I like that CJ Stroud was really connecting with Tank Dell and trying to build that, that chemistry so that the season could start off really good for this quarterback and wide receiver duo. Davis Mills had a very tough day. Once again, did throw an interception, but it took him about 5 passes until he completed the ball, was, overselling people, underthrowing the ball. And it was real tough, right? Because this is a quarterback competition at the end of the day. And Davis Mills did himself no favors. 1 pass was broken up. He did complete one, however, to tight end Dalton Schultz, but that would have been on those would-be sacks by Will Anderson Jr. that I talked about early in this video. Case Keenum maybe had the best throw of the day, a deep ball on a post that would have been completed, but it was a few inches out of reach of the receiver's hands. It did hit his hands though, but when he hit the ground, the ball popped out. It was a big play. The crowd jumped up and was excited. We were excited to see anything done by this, Houston Texans team. What was also cool is that owner Cal McNair and Hannah McNair, they came out and they talked to the fans. They signed my Houston Texans fitted. I'm looking for it right now. I'll show you guys on another stream or another video. But shout out to them to talking to the fans and letting them know that they're trying to get this team back on track. Overall, I think it was a C+, low grade B for the Houston Texans today. It was the first open practice, so maybe our rookies were a little bit nervous. However, I'm excited for the rest of the practices to come. I will be there. Let me know if you guys are there also. So this was how day 3, but day 1 of open training camp was for the fans. You guys let me know how it was if you were there. As always, go Houston Texans. You guys have a very blessed day.